Morning, team.
Ron Burgundy's back.
Talk about being stuck in a news cycle. Now, if you don't mind, can we go easy on the Andrew Neil Rouge?
Oh, I think we've got a little bit of Molly's blusher left over.
Woof. I love blue nun, blue nun, blue nun. Down it goes into my belly.
On air, Simon.
Welcome. You're watching the This Week News Roundup with me, Simon McCoy. The Transport Secretary, Chris Grayling, is feeling the heat again after a £33 million Brexit payout to Eurotunnel. It follows his unique handling of ferry contracts to deal with freight issues. Let's hear what he has to say.
I would like to update the House on the settlement the government's reached with Eurotunnel, which will help to deliver the unhindered supply of vital medicines and medical devices in the case of a no-deal Brexit.
Oops, our apologies there. Clearly that wasn't Mr. Grayling. Well, let's return now to the House. Not that kind of House, the House of Commons.
Once again, the Transport Secretary is not in his place to answer a question that's been directed to him. His disregard for taxpayers in this House is clear. He leaves a trail of destruction in his wake, causing chaos and wasting billions of pounds, yet he shows no contrition, no acknowledgement of his mistakes, nor any resolve to learn and improve.
The less disaster-prone Attorney-General, Geoffrey Cox, has been in Brussels trying to make some progress on concessions over the Irish backstop ahead of Brexit. And I think we have a clip of how Mr Bombastic's negotiations went down. Well, that went well.
While the talks take place in a constructive atmosphere, discussions have been difficult. No solution has been identified at this point that is consistent with the withdrawal agreement, including the protocol on Ireland, Northern Ireland, which, as you all know, will not be reopened.
Lights! Lights! I need some lights! Speaking of which, the Attorney-General had a much brighter outlook on those discussions.
We've made very reasonable, very coherent and very detailed proposals. We are resuming talks soon, and we shall have to see where they go.
As the EU told the UK to think again and quickly, the Chancellor Philip Hammond told the pro-Brexit Tory ERG group to fall into line.
Well, if we don't get the Prime Minister's deal done on Tuesday, clearly there will have to be a consensus built across Parliament for some kind of way to go forward. There will probably be an extension of time, and many things that we thought were certain become uncertain. And those colleagues who are passionately committed to ensuring that we leave the European Union, I think need to think very, very carefully about how they vote.
What's that? Chris Failing? Chris Grayling? He's won the Nobel Prize? Surely not. You're kidding. Oh, you are kidding. Ah, Chris Grayling still isn't in the House of Commons.
He doesn't even have the face to come here and front it out. And what we're left with is Hancock's half hour.
In the Hancock family, Mr. Speaker, we're very proud of Hancock's half hour, and we thought that Tony was a very funny man.
Yes, it's worth pointing out that Hancock was deliberately funny.
Now, ad lib to walk. What I mean now, it's time for the walking news. The French President, Emmanuel Macron. Macron, not macaroon. Goodness, these This Week producers, what are you doing? Anyway, as I was saying, the French President, Emmanuel Macron, has appealed for a reform of the EU in order to stop states retreating into nationalism, a reference there, of course, to Brexit. He also questioned who told the British people the truth about their post-Brexit future. Right, can I sit back down now? Concern over the growing problem of knife crime dominated Prime Minister's questions this week. It followed the murders of two 17-year-olds last weekend. Critics have linked the rise in knife crime to falling police numbers, a correlation the PM had disputed a few days earlier.
Violent crime has doubled. The rise, Mr. Speaker, has been driven by austerity, something the Prime Minister told us a few months ago was over. You cannot keep communities safe on the cheap.
It is a fact that more money is being put into the police this year, that more money is being put into the police next year.
Despite Labour's attempts to deal with claims of anti-Semitism, Jeremy Corbyn has found himself under renewed pressure. Jewish MP Margaret Hodge accused his office of interfering in investigations into members accused of anti-Semitism. She said that either Mr Corbyn had intentionally misled her or that his staff had been misleading him.
What is so awful about this is that Jeremy always proclaims zero tolerance of anti-Semitism. When it comes to the actual cases, if they're his mates, he doesn't demonstrate zero tolerance. And the other thing, he claims no political interference in these cases. I've now seen so much evidence. There is definitely political interference. So trust in him has gone.
The Labour Party denied these allegations and Jeremy Corbyn hit back, accusing Margaret Hodge of a total breach of trust for recording a private meeting between them without permission. The Conservative Party, meanwhile, suspended 14 of its members for allegedly making Islamophobic comments on social media. Former party chair and Muslim peer Baroness Farsi suggested the party leadership needed to take the problem more seriously.
The leadership have turned a blind eye to this. They have just simply hoped that it would go away, and that has led me to question why. You know, at worst, this is the Conservative Party saying, look, Muslims don't really matter.
And finally, we're getting some breaking news. And I'm very excited to tell you that the royal family celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Prince of Wales' investiture at Buckingham Palace this week. And we're thrilled to have these lovely pictures for you. Well, that's it from me. It just remains for me to say stay classy, San Diego. Nice try, team. I just don't read it because it's there, you know. Anyway, I'm a professional knob. On which note, I hear there's a late-night TV slot soon to be on offer. I quite fancy that.